the Dark Metaverse panel. I'm Corinne Kingsbury. I am the creator and the showrunner of the show, and I am here with our cast to talk about the season finale of the second season and going into our third. I nailed it.
Hey.
Nailed it.
Oh, that, you guys, just for you, that took about 8 tries for me to get through, just so you know. Like, that was one of getting to our third season paled in comparison to getting that out without stumbling. So here we are.
It felt more like 15 tries. It was only 8.
All right, so should we introduce ourselves?
Yeah.
Do it.
Yes, please.
All right.
Hi, I'm Perry Mattfeld, and I play Murphy.
Hi, I'm Brooke Markham, and I play Jess.
Hi, I'm Morgan Krantz, and I play Felix Bell.
Hi, I'm Casey Deidrick, and I play Max Parrish. First one to get the last name in there. Ooh.
Hey, I'm Keston John. I play Darnell James.
Hi, I'm Theodore Bhat, and I play Josh Wallace.
Ooh.
Hi, I'm Calle, Walton, and I play Chloe Riley.
All right.
Nailed it.
Wow.
You got it.
Yeah.
That was so good.
I'm proud of us.
I'm really proud. I think we came together in the end and we got it. It had some rough starts that I hope you guys never see, but here we are. Now we can successfully say our names and what we do for a living. How are you guys? It's so nice to see you in your tiny little boxes.
Good.
Great. Yeah, we're good.
Trying not to lose my frame here.
Yeah.
Not too far left.
As long as the hair is in the frame, because it's on fleek right now, Perry.
I feel like as an actor, people are always just trying to like put me in a box, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Classic Morgan.
Although you like your horizontal box better than your vertical. Apparently.
I look significantly better in my horizontal box than this.
Oh.
I don't know what it is. I don't think vertical suits me. But what can you do?
You feel like it's just lengthening? Like, how do you feel? Why do you feel like
Yeah.
you look so much better?
I
think you look great, Morgan.
Oh,
that means a lot. It means a lot coming from you. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, my face just looks sort of oblong and strange in the vertical. But
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree, Morgan.
we could all talk about Morgan's face on this panel.
That's what people came here to watch.
All right, well, here we are. We're gonna like chat about the show, and so I guess I'm the host. I
guess
to be great at this, as you guys have witnessed. Anyway, I'm so proud of the second season. I'm so excited to be going into the third. I want to talk a little bit about the second season and your guys' experiences and the stories. So, Perry, I wanted to talk to you about the second season. It's now, you've played this character for 2 seasons now, this dysfunctional mess who's had so much growth. And I think you've really found your focus and you found, yourself a lot in this second season. What was it like for you to read these scripts and live these episodes and see how much your character has changed?
Well, I mean, I think we had to start from literally rock bottom. Like, I think we had to expose Murphy for, we had to give her somewhere to go. So I love just the trajectory that she's had so far. Obviously, I don't think she'll ever be some like perfect person, but I also love that we gave her somewhere to go. And then what I'm so proud of is that season 2 became a lot more of like an ensemble kind of fight, I guess. We learned a lot about Murphy in season 1, and then in season 2, everyone was kind of on board fighting for the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes season 2 that much more full.
Yeah, I mean, you play this character so well, and she's blind. I know that you worked a lot with Lori preparing for the role. Do you want to talk a little bit about your process and how you prepare to play Murphy?
yeah, I mean, I've said before, I'm really lucky that because, you know, I'm an actor who had to create this character based on a real person. So I didn't have to like try to make it up out of nowhere. I have the real person named Lori Burnson who, you know, she's not only our blind consultant, but she's a part of the writer's room as well. And so I was able to spend time with her before we even started making the pilot, just, you know, in her house, watching her cook, watching her make her bed, watching her get ready in the morning, watching her organize her closet, send emails, watching her work with her guide dog, all that kind of stuff, just to try to get a very basic, at least preliminary understanding of some of the physicality before I then on set tried to attempt the emotional aspect of Murphy, which is obviously a lot.
Unfortunately, Murphy doesn't make her bed or cook or I don't think she's great at responding to
or do any sort of work at all.
Yeah.
Same.
Casey, what was it like to play in a romance? Like, obviously, you are a fan favorite, and everyone loves the Max Murphy relationship. It, Casey, people love it. What was it like to play with somebody who is not sighted? Was it? I know you've played obviously romantic leads in the past, but was this different? And how was it?
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, thank you for saying that. I mean, that's just a testament to our writers' room as well, and to you. So thank you for creating such a beautiful story between these two characters. But yeah, at first it was so weird. I was like, is she talking to me? Am I like, I don't know. It was just a very strange thing that I've never experienced before. But because Perry is just like, was so wonderful in this role that it was just so easy to catch on to that. And I'm really excited of where like the storyline has gone so far and where it's progressed.
What about, yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry, go ahead.
The Murphy-Jess friendship is one of my favorites, and your guys' bond is so special, you know, real life and also on screen. And I really feel like you guys are soulmates, and the first season you guys were just, nothing could really get in your way. And the second season, it's really just testing that friendship and tearing it apart and seeing how strong you guys really are. Brooke, how did you feel about sort of dismantling this friendship in a way and having to rebuild it? And a lot of your time this season, you were so isolated and really struggling with your friendship with Murphy. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I feel that the isolation that I felt from Perry, inevitably, because when Jess is isolated from Murphy, then Brooke is isolated from Perry. And I felt that really fueled Jess's story for me very organically, because Perry and I are such close friends in real life. She means so much to me, that I didn't really have to do much work to be sad being away from her.
I know.
Yeah, we love each other very much on and off screen. So
that scene where you guys are outside and that break, it was just so powerful. It was incredible. Like watching that.
There was like something I had never heard of before called sleet or something. It's like, like rain, snow mix.
Mm-hmm.
It was so intense. And Brooke and I had this intense scene. They're like, oh, it's sleeting. I was like, sleeting? What? and I think it was part of what made that scene so intense too, was just like, it was cloudy and sleeting and cold and
the elements were working outside as well. So
one of my favorite things to write is female friendship, because no offense to the boys, you guys just aren't as emotional as we are. And And I think I know for me, I've been in all sorts of different kinds of friendships, and I really love to write the Murphy Jess friendship because it's the one that you just want that person who is your soulmate and you just love. And I've been in these situations, and that's why when you talk about that scene, Keston, it's like this loop that you're in. Like you, as friendship, like you get into these loops that you have a really hard time finding your way out of. And I think what the most interesting thing about Jess this season is that you broke out of that. Like you're the character is so codependent, and you're like, I'm not doing this anymore. And it took really having, heroin stored at your place of work behind your back, where you can go to prison for the rest of your life, basically, to be like, I'm not doing this with you anymore. And yet, even then, I felt like in that moment in your performance, it was still such a struggle, and you still wanted to be there in some way. And it really is, female friendship is just this crazy bond that I just love to write because I love my friends.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say, and you mentioned the like cyclical nature of it all, because I was thinking about that, and a lot of it's like come back to me in retrospect, like after we've shot the season. But Jess, her trajectory this season, she starts somewhere, and she I think for the first time we've seen Jess actively makes decisions for herself, and she makes some pretty intense decisions this season. And it was so interesting because the first time she wasn't remaining a victim of the situations that she was in. She actively did things to change that with, can we do spoilers?
Yeah.
With, she actively makes a decision to save Nia, which really shines a light on Jess's morality. And then her morality, a couple episodes later, is drastically tested and shifts because she then kills Nia.
Same person you saved.
The same person I saved, but the difference with that is that Murphy's life was also in Jess's hands. And so she left, she made decisions to leave, she escaped, and then through her inability to not be codependent with Murphy, she made a complete circle and wound up exactly where she started, at least with Murphy.
Yeah, and like now you guys are more codependent than ever because she has this secret of yours that you murdered someone, and it really is the most hyperbolic version of a friendship when you're like, I would die for that person, I would kill for that person, and that really is what Jess and Murphy are. And I just think it was really fun to watch you guys.
I've also thought about that with Max too, because like we had this intense breakup, I guess, that is, I mean, how are we supposed to break up? We just buried bodies together. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
And sex
very
in the
true.
woods. Don't forget about the sex in the woods.
Yeah.
I know for me and the Max Murphy relationship, it really is the Murphy character is so closed off, and she's so damaged and broken, and one of her main struggles is learning how to love herself, right? So you have this person from day one who's like, I love you, and your entire relationship is you rejecting that love even though you love this person. And it is like the more, and he can see you and he knows you, and that was the difference between, and why I believe you chose Josh in the end, because he doesn't know you and he can't see you the way that Max does, and that is a safer choice for you. And in that moment you were like, it was the ugliest version of yourself. Like you murdered, I mean, you didn't murder, but you were adjacent to murder. You buried 2 bodies. You have sex with him while you're supposed to be burying them. I mean, it's like he sees the grossest version of this character, and he loves her anyway, and she doesn't feel like she's worthy of love, so of course she's going to reject him in the end. And Max is just like a fucking sweetie. He's like, I don't understand. I just want to make you pancakes. Why are you being so mean to me?
Yeah.
I just want to let you know if you want to have sex with other people, like that's okay too. If you're
Oh
like
my
kind of
God.
in an open relationship.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like, I mean, how much more does Max have to sacrifice, to be with the person that he loves at the end of that, the season 2?
Yeah,
So
and yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just kind of like, adding on to what was said about
I think he's
that.
asking you, Corinne, like
Oh,
what?
well, I think,
Yeah.
and obviously you guys have read some scripts in season 3, but
Yeah.
I do feel like that end of Max in season 2 has changed him. And he's like, I don't need to take this from you anymore. And it doesn't matter how much he loves her. In that moment, he was sort of choosing to love himself and be like, I don't care. I know that you love me, but I'm not going to keep doing this dance with you, Murphy. I can't.
Right. Yeah. I think, at the end there, I think Max is so secure with himself to know that if Murphy wants Josh, then she's going to be with Josh and vice versa. So I think that was a great find for him for, a realization at the end of that season.
I mean, I can't speak for everybody here, obviously, but I can speak for myself. I think we've all been in that relationship where you're like, I don't care how much I love you. You make me feel bad.
Yeah.
Yep, been there.
I don't care. Like, when I'm around you, I feel shitty, and I don't want to feel shitty anymore. I'm done.
Right.
I'm tired.
I was tired. I've spent so much time in prison getting the shit kicked out of me. I get out for a second.
And then you don't want me.
The bodies, and you're like, I'm gonna go out with the IRS guy. Like, I kind of like him more. And you're like, I'm done. I'm not doing this with you anymore, kid.
I mean, to be honest, I heard the British accent, and I was like, that's it. Max is done.
Look at you, man. You've been like genetically modified in a lab by gods.
Theo,
You're like the best looking guy I've ever seen in my life.
Theo,
I don't want to be too hyperbolic, but this guy, I mean, look at him. He's like 6 foot.
You remember-
Right? Look at
you
him.
remember when Theo,
Even
first
on a
came-
Zoom, he looks like some sort of model, man. What the
When he first came to the show and we walked him around and introduced him to everyone, and he was like, Casey is the most beautiful man I've ever seen.
Stop.
I've never seen anything like it.
No.
What is that?
I mean, can you blame me?
Modest.
Look at the guy.
I know.
Look at you in that tux, man. I'm turned on, dude.
Oh boy.
Dude, I'm actually in my pants right now. I've got all from the top. It's all like smart.
Oh,
and then
man.
right now I'm just wearing shorts, dude.
Yeah, you got sweatpants on right now.
So, a big thing that I was about to talk to you, Morgan,
Oh yeah.
but you're raising your hand though. Do you have a question?
Oh no, she was asking who's not wearing pants, and I said.
Oh
No, I thought she said he was wearing sweatpants, not no pants.
Oh, for sure. That's what I meant.
Is this when we all realized that Morgan was not wearing pants?
Said who's not wearing pants? And
Prove it.
Oh boy.
Pants.
If you're wearing pants to a Zoom panel, you're not living, Okay, sorry. Yeah, go on, Corinne.
To be fair, I don't think any of us are living right now. I don't think anyone in America. And if you are, you shouldn't be. You should go home and wear
It's
a mask.
true. If you're living, yeah.
If you're like, I'm living my life, I'm like, don't do that. Don't live your life.
Yeah.
Do the opposite. So one huge thing that happened this season between our characters was the birth of the Murphy Felix friendship. And you guys hated each other in the first season and were very much adversaries. And then in the second season, you reluctantly come together, and Felix has actually some really good ideas and gets you out of some jams. And what was that like, Morgan, to see Felix kind of come into his own this season?
I mean, it was satisfying because I don't think he changed necessarily. I think it was more just that he was sort of revealed to be what?
No, it's true. It's true. It's true.
No, I think
Sorry,
it was
go ahead.
revealed, like when you really press against Felix, I mean, it's interesting because when you first met him, he's like this do-gooder working at a nonprofit, for apparently these very selfless kind of reasons. But then as you kind of unravel the character, which, by the way, you know, I was doing as I was receiving your script. So I didn't know the backstory. So, but it was like sort of revealed like, oh, he's not really like this goody two shoes. Like, I'm going to save the world through this nonprofit. It's actually motivated a lot by like his lack of self-worth and trying to prove something to his sort of capitalist, like bourgeois family. And like, you know, I think he also maybe thought that he went to Harvard. So I think part of him was like, oh, I'll be like a big fish in the small pond of like this nonprofit dog thing. But he still ended up being the small fish there. And I think it's just like about, so I forget what the question was, but it was satisfying to like see him find self-worth from the, you know, situation.
The question.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
The question was, how did it feel?
Yeah. Oh,
to
yes.
have
How did it feel?
Felix reveal himself.
How did it feel to have him reveal himself? Yeah, I mean,
that was not the question.
Oh, it was really exciting and dangerous.
I mean, yeah. I don't even know what I asked you, but I felt like we did a great job confusing people.
I was trying to give an earnest answer.
You're a great tag team of confusing, being confusing.
No, like, I mean, Felix is, I think, what...
You're doing great, Morgan.
You're killing it, bro. You're killing it.
Okay, I was giving an earnest answer. I was really trying to have a searching...
Don't say earnest. Don't say the word.
Everybody started laughing at me and it threw me off.
I think you're doing great, Morgan.
But it's been great. No, wait, what was the question? Sorry, ask me another one or whatever.
The question was,
or whatever.
It was like Felix had evolved a lot this season, and you know, I think that Felix really came into his own, and it was a lot about the Murphy-Felix friendship and you coming around to liking Murphy. I thought you guys had that really beautiful moment in episode 9 where you hug. It chokes me up. I'm like, you guys have come so far, and it was after she has that horrible moment in Josiah's arcade where he makes sure she's not wearing a wire and has her take off all of her clothes. And you give her that very sweet hug. And I'm like, oh, this friendship has just come so far. And this isn't even a question. This is just me talking about things that I like, I guess.
Well, yeah, more specifically than them starting to like each other, I always saw it more as like Murphy started to like me. Because in my mind, I always wanted her to sort of see me. I wanted her to like kind of laugh at my jokes and respect me, but she just never did. I think in her mind, but then it comes out actually, in her mind, I was the one that started things off like, rudely. But in my mind, I always thought like, I actually want her to, you know, love me, but she never will. And then like, so when she started, so that's how I sort of saw it.
Is that a lot how your guys' relationship is off screen? Like you want her to love you, but she never will?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of came just organically, just based on.
Like you want Brooke and Perry to like invite you to bars and stuff, and they just never will?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, when someone texts in a group and like no one responds kind of thing. That way, you know.
A lot of that.
Does that happen?
No.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
No,
that happened in Toronto?
What?
Us not responding to Morgan's texts.
I mean, my text.
That's the other thing. Is like Brooke only calls him Felix. That's another flush.
Yeah, I only call Morgan Felix.
Yeah, she refuses to acknowledge that we know each other outside of a fictional universe. No, I mean, I've certainly, I guess I do have like 3 to 5 texts that were never responded to. We could go over them. I have them screenshotted actually.
Was it like, hey guys, want to go grab some, I don't know. I feel like Morgan only eats ramen because he's cool.
Has Morgan talked to you about the lobster restaurant that he took the cast to, except for me?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
I didn't get that invite.
I didn't get invited to that.
No, so here's
I
what
didn't get
happened.
invited either.
Here's what happened.
I wasn't either.
I had rented an SUV for the weekend, and then we all went to go see Joker. And then after Joker, I was like, yo, I heard about from my really cool friend in Toronto. He was like, you got to go to this seafood restaurant. It's wall to wall.
Who we found out later never actually went to that restaurant.
That's the thing. We went to this restaurant, had a horrible experience, and I was like, James, why'd you tell me to go to this place? It was pretty intense. Like they were serving like lobster brains, and they didn't you couldn't get anybody to tell you anything. And he was like, oh, I was like, I never told you to go there. I was like, what? Yes, you did. Anyway.
Well, Casey, when we go to Toronto and Keston, and apparently Calle also wasn't invited, I'm going to take you guys to this lobster restaurant, and we're going to have some lobster brains, and it's going to be great.
Everybody was invited.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
You guys are.
I don't think I'll be free that day. I don't think I'll be free that day.
What happened?
Okay. Good answer.
I said she doesn't think she'll be free that day.
I was free that day. Those are my favorite moments in Toronto when I come to visit, and I will like text Yael or something, and I'll be like, hey, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm just having drinks with Brooke. I'm like, oh, cool. Thanks for the invite, guys. She's like, oh,
whoa.
text you. I'm like, you were just about to text me. Like, you guys are literally having drinks.
I thought we were just putting Morgan on blast the whole conversation.
I'll put everybody on blast. I don't care.
No, in reality, the truth is, I feel like Brooke and Perry text me like every day of the weekend to try to hang out. And at a certain point, I'm like, guys, like we need a break. Like we work together. It's too much. Cool,
Okay.
Okay. All right.
We really went down a rabbit hole. Keston, you sort of stayed out of it because you have that beautiful baby at home, and you're like, I'm not. We had planned to do one thing, which was that the Dr. Seuss thing with our children, right?
Yes, yeah.
And then we went to like the rap party the night before, and I was like, I'm so hungover, I can't move.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't end up going anyway. It was a waste of $200. No one went.
We bought tickets, and I was like so excited. I was like, this thing is sold out. We gotta go. Yeah. And then we all got tickets, and then we never went.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not a great story, but it is a story.
I remember that you guys were supposed to do that.
We were.
You guys missed out. Me and my brother went. We were just bored one day, and we went to the Dr. Seuss Museum up in Toronto. It was really fun.
Oh, don't tell me that, Calle.
I did go on Disney on Ice while I was there, and we went, and then my 3-year-old sits down, and he's very pensive, and he just says, I like this. I like this. And I was like, all right, cool, man.
Cool, man.
I'm like, I
Very
don't.
thoughtful.
So humble. Such a humble response. I love it.
Keston, we put, I don't mean to segue, but we put Darnell again through so much this season. He loses the love of his life. He tries to get out of the game only to be sucked back in. I also really feel like you and Murphy built this pretty strong friendship this season. What has it been like to see Darnell grow out of this life and want out so badly and keep getting sucked back in?
Oh yeah, wow, that's a great question. I mean, it's tough. I mean, because obviously Darnell started as maybe the entire audience thinks that Darnell's the bad guy, and really it's just this thing. He's like family over everything. And as he loses that family, you see him try to clutch onto anything he can. And it's been a fun ride for sure. Fun in a weird way, in a weird actor-y way.
Yeah, I mean, he I think has grown so much, and his character is so complicated. What is the biggest challenge kind of tapping into that character and his layers and his complications and all of that?
I would say the biggest challenge for me, it's, you know what, I don't know that I feel like, I mean, I'm not going to say I don't feel like he's challenging, but I feel like there's a lot of things that we kind of sync up, as far as when it comes to family, that is the top for me. So Darnell feels that same way. And I think the thing that was beautiful about the character that you created is we get to see his human side. Like this, he's this guy and he's the drug dealer with the heart of gold. You know what I mean? And so I think if anything, I think the season 1 stuff, where you see him on, I guess what would be the top of his castle in a way, that was probably the more difficult stuff. But then as we humanize him, I think the actor difficulty creating the character was just kind of finding how he goes through that trauma, finding how he goes through losing Tyson first, then losing the love of his life, then losing his sister, and how is he going to deal with that, and dealing with all the emotions, the anger, and at first when he finds out. So yeah.
Yeah, and also, you and your character and Max have a pretty nice friendship, and then you learn that he was a double agent and sort of stabbed you in the back. And are you looking forward to building that friendship back up and kind of starting over and figuring out where you guys go from here?
Yeah, I mean, Darnell doesn't have many people left in the world, so like I think that would be. I mean, if in Darnell's world, like Max, rekindling that friendship with Max would be probably one of the things that might save him, because where does he go? Like, where does he go?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love, the opportunity to continue that storyline. I think for Keston and I in the beginning, we were trying to come up with some sort of a backstory, just of like, did they grow up together? Did they grow up on the same street? Was their family friends? But Keston, I mean, I gotta say, man, you did such a wonderful job the last, these 2 seasons. Like, I just love that you have this ability. Like, you were the unlikable kind of bad guy in the beginning of season 1, and you so beautifully like nuanced. You got the fans to like root for you and be engaged with you, and I just think you did such a wonderful job with that, man.
Thank you. I mean, that I think is on the shoulders of the writers, honestly, because you guys showed a character that could be this stereotypical gangbanger of the week, and you showed him have a life, and he has love, and he's probably in his romance life, he's probably was the most grown up of all the characters in his in his romantic life.
Yep.
So yeah, no,
you do. I mean, yeah, you really. I mean, I think it's a testament to you, Keston, as an actor. I mean, I only have one gripe with you, which is when we go to do the gag reel, you never mess up on a line. You're like, it's so. I go to the editor's office. I'm like, give me something on Keston. I'm like, it's impossible. There's nothing. Okay, he never messes up any lines.
I'll work on it. Season 3. I'll work on it.
Just give us one like pratfall. Just give us one. I'll throw a banana peel, and then yeah. So. Theo, you joined our cast this season.
Did indeed. Yeah, thanks very much.
All the way from.
Thanks for having me.
What was it like first of all, do you want to talk a little bit about how you got the job, and what was it like to come to Toronto and join our little family?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks very much, everyone, for welcoming me. It's been
welcoming me. The second he speaks. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
He'll be back.
Casey, do you want to take this one for him and just do the accent?
I would love to, Corinne. That'd be lovely. That's absolutely. It's surreal, really. It's bloody mess over here. I'm so sorry.
I was washing dishes in Dorchester. The next thing I knew, the CW popped.
Yeah, let's all talk in a British accent.
I'm just doing a bit, and I got a call
Is that what is pop paint? What did he say?
What is that?
What is that?
All the English fans watching this are like, stop.
Perry, what was that? What was it? Something about
Oh,
paint
he
or
goes.
something?
He was like, no, I don't remember. Someone said something. He's like, what does that mean? What
No,
does
it was
that
in the
mean?
script. It was in the script. It was something about the paint or like the marker. Or
What is
something.
puff paint?
Yeah, what is puff
What's
paint?
puff paint?
What is
I
puff
love that.
mean? Puff paint. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
While we're waiting for Theo, let's talk to the lovely Calle for a bit.
Yeah.
Hi, Calle. So do you want to, since we're missing Theo, do you want to talk about, first of all, Chloe had so much this season and you really figured out who your dad was and how heartbreaking that was. I mean, episode 12, you destroyed me when you're like, I know you're lying to me. I know you hate me. What was it like preparing for that role and for that storyline?
When I had to scream at my dad, I'd never had to do that before. So it was just like on that day, I just built up all the anger from my past, like any anger I could get in me, and just unleashed it at him, trying to make the scene as dramatic as possible.
Well, it was very dramatic and it was very real, and it's been so nice to just see you really come into your own this season, and you have always blown me away, and this season you've grown so much and as an actor, and it's just been so much fun to give you more and more.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about your audition process and how you came on this show?
Yeah, so 10 days into moving to Canada and to a new school specifically for the blind, the casting agency came to my school looking for blind girls to audition to play the part of Chloe Riley on an upcoming TV show. And I auditioned. I honestly thought I did terribly. But a couple weeks later, Corinne you called me and said that I got the part of Chloe Riley.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I mean, listen, there was not even any hesitation. I was looking at auditions and trying to cast this part. And from the moment you came on screen, and you were just such a natural, and you don't push, you're just so gifted and just great and perfect in not only this part, but so many other parts in your future. I just know that you have such a huge career ahead of you, and it's been so fun to be the first person to give you a professional acting job. I can say I will have known you when.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and you know, we have so much representation on our show. What has it been like to be one of the first actors who are blind to be a regular on a television show?
It's crazy. I'm so honored, and I really hope it helps open the doors to other people that have a passion for acting but have some kind of obstacle in their way. I really hope it helps show people that even though people might have disabilities or obstacles, that shouldn't be the first thing you see. It should be their talent and what's inside of them, and to give them a chance.
Yeah, I know you lost your sight a little bit later in life. Did you want to be an actor before, and then how did losing your sight affect that? Like what was your process there?
So ever since kindergarten, and since I can ever remember, I've always loved being dramatic and acting and playing different roles, and I've just always loved it. And I first lost my sight partially in the 3rd grade. And I with the help of my mom and all my family members, keeping me positive, and positivity was really the key. I just didn't let that dream get out of my mind, and I just did everything I could to act. I loved it. And then when I lost my sight fully at the age of 17, that kind of distorted my dreams. I didn't really think acting was going to be a possibility anymore. I didn't think it was likely that I could be a fully blind actress. So I kind of let that one go, pushed it back, and thought of other things I could do. I didn't think it was going to be likely. I'd come up with new dreams, and now I'm an actress, and it's crazy, and my dream has come true. It's amazing.
Well, I'm glad you don't need any of those other stupid dreams. I'm glad you did dream number one.
Yo, thank you for discovering me.
Oh my God, thank you. You're such a gift to the show. What has it been like working with Perry? I know you guys have a very close friendship, and are there any? Oh my gosh, hang on.
French Open is scheduled for the 27th of
Did you guys hear that?
11th of October 2000.
What is
I
it?
said, I know you guys have a really close friendship, and then my Siri said the French Open is scheduled for September 27th, October.
Oh, was listening.
Your Siri voice sounds like Theo.
Also, I'm concerned that the French Open is going to happen with COVID.
Yes.
This is alarming on multiple levels, you guys.
It's another
It's
country.
alarming that my phone is listening to me, and it's even more alarming that that's happening. Anyway, so sorry, I digress. I know that you and Perry have a very close friendship. What has that been like working with Perry? And I know you guys are close. And does she do anything that really cracks you up on set?
We have a ton of fun on and off set. We both help each other, and we've just formed this great relationship. Every day when I come to set, I look forward to my scenes with Perry and just getting to know her as a person and as an actress playing the part of Murphy. And I'm just so honored and lucky to have her as my first ever person to act with on TV.
I also am lucky to have Calle as well as an additional resource. I mean, I'm always learning from her too, and she's a lot better at hitting her marks on set than I am. Even he seems to be a lot more accurate than me. So.
Everyone talks about it, that
true.
no one is better at hitting their marks than Calle.
It's like, what?
Theo's back, but it says his name is Fred now.
That's
Hi,
my brother.
Fred.
Yeah, I'm very, very sorry.
Fred!
My
Doing like a soap opera horrible storyline where his twin brother is here to ruin his interview.
His twin brother
Fred
just came in and killed him and
His
just
I
evil
am
twin
Fred.
brother, Fred.
Fred.
yeah, I can only apologise. This bloody Wi-Fi has been up all week, so I
All
apologise.
day.
Bloody
But,
Wi-Fi.
yeah.
Bloody Wi-Fi.
Anyone else?
No,
But-
End to it.
Bloody Wi-Fi.
I'm actually
It's
pretty.
never gonna end. So just get some
Oh, I
things
love
in.
it. I love it. It's a dodgy accent anyway, so.
Well, I think Casey really hit it out of the park. He did your interview for you.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you
And
very
he
much.
said how you got the part and how great you are in it.
Anytime.
Thanks very much.
But let's hear it from you, Fred. I mean, your brother is Theo, and you guys look exactly the same. And clearly, you just stolen his outfit and are here to.
But yeah, that's very true. That is, yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Well, the question you asked. Obviously, I got the job from an internet audition, and then I was lucky enough to fly out and meet the wonderful Perry and obviously you, Corinne. And I was very, very nervous. and just getting on a flight that was all sort of, and staying in a hotel for one night was just a mad experience. And then, a week later, I got an email being like, congratulations, you got the job, you got the part of Josh. CBS Business Affairs will be in contact or whatever. I didn't have an agent, so I had to go find an agent.
You don't even get into how much they pay you, Thea. I mean, Fred.
No, I won't. I won't. But I won't mention any names or anything like that, any legal things. But no, it was pretty crazy, because I just remember getting that email and just being like, what? And there was this Australian guy I was working with. He was just barking in my ear, and I was just like, dude, I'm done with the job, and thank you so much. Though.
You quit on the spot?
Yeah, well, I've been working there off and on for 6 years, and so, but this Australian guy was just doing my head in, and I was just like, nah, just enough, and I would just go. So
I'm going to Hollywood.
Like,
I'm going to
bloody, whatever.
You mic drop.
I'm going to Hollywood. I'm going to the break light.
It's such a poorly written scene too. Like, he's like, I'm done with my dishwashing job. Boss who's meeting me, I'm going to Hollywood.
It is moment for moment the opening to the movie Midnight Cowboy, except he doesn't go to become a male prostitute. Or
no, right, exactly. Well,
we don't know. We don't know what he does in Toronto.
That's it, man. We got season 3, but no, it was a wicked experience, and just going out and even that final audition was just like, I would have been. Obviously, I'm so thrilled and every day still pinching myself that I got the job. It's such a, wonderful experience. But even doing that last audition, I would have been just that as an experience in itself would have been for me just I would have been I would have been grateful even then. I was lucky enough to get it. What was that, Morgan?
What happened at the last audition?
No, it was just a great experience. I'd never been in that position before. I just I would do like self tapes and stuff, and then. But even flying out and doing it with Perry.
Getting flown out, right? Getting flown out to meet the producers, like that.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Perry. Yeah, that's exactly it. And then that was a wicked experience. Yeah, it's great.
That wouldn't have been enough. Come on.
No, I'm really glad I got the job. So thank you very much, Corinne, and everyone else involved, and you guys for being so welcoming. No, for real. It's I don't know if I could put up with the other job for the last 2 weeks. I was starting to lose my head. It's all good.
Go ahead.
You go back into your old job and flaunt yourself now?
I actually did work. Actually, before lockdown, I went back to my old job, but as a waiter instead of a dishwasher.
No, but you don't go.
But they're good. They're good
people. Patron and like spend money.
He just enters in like a gold suit with his SAG card around his neck.
Theo,
I thought it was.
You mean to tell me you didn't get bottle service at that restaurant?
That's it, man. I should have. Yeah.
He's like, I'll take your finest wine by the glass. I know how much it is. $13. $13.50.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh man.
So
no,
you came in the second season, and you're part of this love triangle between Murphy and Max. What do you think Murphy found attractive in Josh besides the accent?
I think Josh offers a bit of stability, and obviously Max being super good looking and actually his heart is in a really, really good place, but he's kind of on a different side of the law, whereas Josh sits firmly by the books. He's a bit of a straight arrow, and I think for Murphy, who is also a very independent and confident person within her personality, she just looked at a guy who was a bit different and a bit more kind of straight arrow, and maybe it's something that she's never had, and she saw something that was a bit more stable and a bit more safe. I think that Josh kind of offered that side to the courtship. I don't know what I said, but yeah.
So I'm in the process right now of really knee deep in writing season 3. Is there anything that you're like, I really want to do that? I'm just looking for some pitches right now because I'm struggling.
Is that a question for all of us?
Yeah, just like, is there anything that you're like, hey, I would love to see that. I'm just curious. I come at it from a completely different place, and I know that you guys come at it from a completely different place. Is there is there a storyline that you're like, I really want
Me, like,
that, or
maybe somehow end up like Greece or like in Europe somehow or something. Stuff like that would be good.
Wow, Greece.
Like decide France would be really nice, I think.
Yeah, I feel like we have
with me. I'm getting tickets.
I think it'd be cool if Felix like rode a motorcycle.
Oh,
I was gonna say, Morgan, that's my idea. That's my idea. Come on.
You already.
I think it'd be cool if Chloe got to drive a car.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Or got a guide dog or something.
Oh, interesting. All
I
right.
think it'd be cool if Felix rode a guide dog.
All right. I love it. Stories are writing themselves and they're combining. Like you're intertwining Chloe with Felix. That's a fun pairing. We don't get to see very often.
Can we have a talking dog?
done.
Can we have a talking dog moment? Just a moment. One moment. Never return to it. Where Pretzel talks. One of us is on drugs or something, and we hear Pretzel's voice and/or inner monologue. But just one moment where Pretzel says something to someone.
I think that's going to be the season 3 finale. The last moment of season 3 is just going to be Pretzel going, what?
You know, Homeward Bound is like one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm super excited about that.
I feel like, honestly, Corinne, you guys have done such a phenomenal job. I mean, every script is a shock of just like how you thought of that stuff, how you came up with that stuff, how you incorporated the smallest things that you don't think anyone would think of. And I've said before, I mean, even without knowing, you know, in the past when we've just been filming and don't have the scripts for the next episode, there's still so much trust of just knowing that whatever we get is going to be good. And you have a plan for everything, you know?
Thank
so
you. That's very
whatever
sweet.
you write in season 3, I think we're in good hands.
As long as I don't ride any gray sweatpants, I think we're all gonna be okay.
I have some notes on Felix's pants too.
I'm hopping off comms for a sec. Hopping off comms.
Casey, I was joking and I was writing an outline, and there's a scene in season 3 where he has to get dressed, and I wrote like he puts on his jeans and he walks out, and then as a joke I wrote Max puts on his gray sweatpants that he hasn't had time to change out of, and I sent a screen grab of it to Casey, who didn't respond to me for like an hour, and then I wrote, Casey, I'm joking, and you're like, oh, okay.
No,
you had a very funny response.
I think I wrote like, be right back, just had a heart attack or something like that.
Why, Casey? They look so comfortable. Are they not comfortable?
They're very comfortable. It just reminds me of like Justin Theroux in what's that show that he was in?
The Leftovers.
The Leftovers. There's like a famous photo of him wearing gray sweatpants, and it's just like a perfect outline of his male figure, and it was just that's what I think about.
That's cool though. That's how you get those rumors started, bro. I wear basketball shorts every time I go to the store. Some paparazzi,
just in case.
Yeah, just in case. I want to get those rumors cooking.
To be fair, I will say that there was a time when I think it was episode 10, and it was when after you leave prison, Casey, and you show up at Murphy's house, and you're like, do you think I could change into jeans? And I was just like, no, I don't think he would change. I did not know that the last 3 episodes were going to take place within like one day. So I had no idea you were going to wear those sweat. And looking back, I wish I would have said, for you, because I love you and I adore you, of course you should put on some jeans. So that is my
and those last 3 episodes take place. I mean, yes, the time span is not very long, but that took us like 2 months to film. So Casey wore black or gray sweatpants for 60 days straight.
It's true. And I was just like, I felt bad. I was just like, oh, he probably wouldn't have changed from the it was just like a logic.
Remember, like every episode we would have to do like a costume fitting for every episode, and they'd be like, Okay, we need Brooke, Morgan, Keston, Calle, Theo, for a fitting, and then Casey. No, you stay in that. All right, guys.
I will say I got an extra 45 minutes of sleep every morning, so thank you, Corinne, for that. I appreciate that.
But that's my big season 2 regret. I wish when you texted me that I would have been like, yeah, of course you would have been home and changed. Where would you want? Anyway, so like I said, In the Dark season 3 is in the works. There's going to be 0 gray sweatpants, only jeans for the lovely Casey Deidrick.
Thank you.
To catch up in the meantime, episodes 9 through 13 are still in the CW app, or you can see the first season and the second season both on Netflix. So check it out. And I can't wait to see you all in Toronto. And I cannot wait to have everyone else see season 3. It's so exciting. And it's just the next chapter of this story that I love to tell, and of these actors who are just the best. And I know that we have the best cast on TV. And I just thank you from the bottom of my heart for not only being super kind, amazing people, but just so talented and just the greatest. I have the greatest cast in the world, and I feel super grateful and humbled and lucky, because this show is nothing without you guys. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Corinne. We love you.
Can you give any spoilers? Any spoilers of season 3? Can you give us a little something?
Just that Casey is apparently undressed in one episode and puts on jeans. So I gave away that spoiler.
That's good enough for me.
All right.
And I think we should end this, even though I have no idea what it is, with the Taylor Swift thing we were talking about earlier, where we all push away from the camera. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Nailed it.
We nailed it.